Self-discipline, as I am presenting it to you here, has reference not only to your mastery of negative habits, which stand in the way of your success, but more particularly to your development and enforcement of the positive habits.
There's a daily practice like priming. If you don't do that, if you get up and you just have no discipline whatsoever, you get no value of anything. So I'm not here to become somebody's guru. I'm not here to give them a gift. I'm here for them to open up their own gifts.
Clean your room. Organize your life. Like, get a routine. Get up every day at the same time. Go to bed at the same time. Establish disciplined habits.
Self-discipline and being able to perform and being able to keep your life on schedule and being able to keep commitments and promises and meet deadlines.
Self-discipline. There's an endless amount of books, articles, videos, you name it, covering the topic. However, I found that there's a lack of practical examples for how you can actually take the steps towards becoming more self-disciplined. Personally, I like knowing the specifics of things. If someone says, I make schedules and they help me, I want to know, well, what kind of schedules? Do you make them by hand? Do you use your computer? Do you use an app? You get the drill. I like asking questions, and I like when things are clear, practical, and applicable. So in this video, I will be attempting to address some of the steps that I have taken towards becoming more self-disciplined, and I will try to be as specific as possible without dragging this video out to 30 minutes. I will be using workout examples throughout this video, only because that's been the most recent drastic change in my life. That does not mean that you cannot apply these to other things. You can apply them to practically any goal that you have. It's been a trial and error process to find the methods that work for me, but I would say that today I am more disciplined than I've probably ever been before. But it's a work in progress, you know? It's not easy. It's tough. I still fail. I still learn every day. Self-discipline is not something that just comes and then stays. It's something you need to work on every single day. So, what worked for me? The first thing I looked at was, who do I want to be? And for this one, you kind of need to start backwards. Envision yourself and your life in 1 year, 5 years. What are you wanting to accomplish? Ask yourself what value that will bring to your life. I would recommend sitting down for 3 to 4 hours and just write. How are you today? Why? What's bothering you? What do you wish changed? How do you want to make that change? Where should you start? Question your relationships. Question your living situation. Question your job. Question your interests, your hobbies, your passions. Ask yourself questions and answer them as elaborately as you possibly can. Remember to answer for yourself, not for your friends or your family or what you think society expects of you. And also, don't stop there. Keep journaling. Start by journaling a few times a week, and then every day, and then maybe twice a day. You will get to know yourself and your thoughts. Until you know yourself, you can't really change yourself. Follow someone who inspires you and pushes you to be that, and take their advice. This step was huge for me. I found someone who put my thoughts into words in a way that I was never able to do. I use his quotes as reminders. I think of his words whenever I'm struggling. Just explore the internet. Watch YouTube, read books, read articles. Find someone who you find is speaking directly to you and someone who you trust. Because if you don't trust them, you're not going to want to take their advice. Have a strong why. You need to figure out why you want to accomplish the things that you have set out to accomplish. This is so important because if you don't know why you're doing something, and if you don't truly believe in that why, you most likely won't stick to it. I would also like to recommend the book Man's Search for Meaning, written by Viktor Frankl. Without getting into it too much, he basically writes about finding a why and finding a meaning. I highly recommend you checking it out. Visualize your process. Here is a short story about Jerry Seinfeld. Once upon a time, a young comedian named Brad Isaac had asked Seinfeld if he had any tips for a young comic. Here's how Isaac described the conversation. He said the way to be a better comic was to create better jokes, and the way to create better jokes is to write every day. He told me to get a big wall calendar that has a whole year on one page. He said for each day that I do my task of writing, I get to put a big red X over the day. After a few days, you will have a chain. Just keep at it and the chain will grow longer every day. You will like seeing the chain, especially when you get a few weeks under your belt. Your only job is to not break the chain. So I did this and I decided to put my own little twist on it. Okay, so what he did was he did red crosses. I think I'm going to build a chain of waves, if you can even say that. So So yeah, I'll be doing waves. I think you can just do whatever you want. Wave after wave. Alright, there we have November and December so far. So initially I wanted to draw a leaf per day, and that way my chain would kind of build a forest. But then I changed my mind and I wanted to draw a wave for each day that I am working out. The goal is to have the biggest freaking wave there ever has been. So if I skip a day of working out, that wave will be broken, and then I'll have to start over on a new wave. Another thing that you can do is to put something at the end of your goal period. It can be the name of a city, or it can be a person, or whatever you want it to be. Doing this will also help you specify failure, and this is really important because if you can't recognize when you failed, you won't be able to recognize when you've accomplished something either. 20-second dedication. Whenever you're struggling to get up early, to go work out, to write, to read, whatever it is that your goal is, take 20 seconds where you're fully committed to your thoughts and not your feelings. That's what self-discipline is all about. Acting in accordance with your thoughts and not your feelings. For example, when I'm struggling to get out of bed in the morning, I think to myself, okay, 20 seconds, that's all I need and I will be up and on my way. Sacrifice and resistance. In his book, The Power of Self-Discipline, Brian Tracy writes about 3 enemies of success. One of them is the path of least resistance. Basically, it's about the fact that people naturally tend to follow the fastest and easiest ways to get the things they want in the short term. It's so easy to be lazy and irresponsible and to make no sacrifices. But with no sacrifices comes no achievement. You might feel fulfilled in the short term, but it's not real. Real freedom comes with real sacrifices, and real sacrifices means taking the tough road. So I just got home and I've had the longest day. I could not sleep very well. I actually did not go to the gym this morning, which I normally always go in the morning. And it's so cold outside right now, you guys. All I really want to do right now, honestly, is just take a steaming hot shower, lit some candles, read a book, and just crawl into bed. And I just really wanted to film this part today because today is one of those days where I'm feeling very resistant. You know, I was even debating in my mind, like, is it really worth going? I mean, what's gonna happen if I just skip one day and whatnot? But there's no way I can do that now. I already feel too committed to this. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym because I haven't been today, and that's all there is to it, you know? It's about doing the uncomfortable. Don't expect it to become easier. So I read this sentence in an article, I will link it in my description, and I want to read it to you because it really stuck to me. While most people get demotivated and off track after a bad performance, a bad workout, or simply a bad day at work, top performers settle right back into their pattern the next day. I read that the day that I had had a really bad workout. So the day before, I had planned out my whole workout and I was so excited, but then the morning of, I snoozed, I got really lazy, it took me forever to get out of bed, and the result of that was that I only had half the amount of time to complete my workout, which kind of ruined it for me. And that's okay. It's okay to have bad days, but it's not okay to dwell on them. It happened. You learned a lesson, move on. The next day, I was back at the gym and I had one of the best workouts I've had in a very long time. The last thing is, don't be the type of person who breaks promises. Promise yourself you will do it. You wouldn't break a promise that you've made to someone else. So why would a promise that you've made to yourself be any different? I'm back and I'm cold, but I kept my promise and I showed up. And I think it's so important for me to point this out, even though I have so many times already. Not on YouTube, but on my other social media. This is not about working out. It's about showing up, and it's about doing. And it's about being persistent and consistent, and to not fall for excuses, to not fall into a rabbit hole. Being determined, and not breaking any promises to yourself. That's what it's about. If you take one thing away from this video, I want it to be this. Pick a task and do it every single day for a certain amount of time. It doesn't matter if you do it badly, because doing it badly is better than not doing it at all. And that's it. That's some of the advice that I have. Thank you for watching. If you did like this video, please let me know. Like the video, subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you in my next one.